Konnichiwa, this is Abby or Abby, and I will be talking to you guys about advice/tips for future exchange students and what the differences I found between American and Japanese high schools so far on my exchange. Some background info. I'm the first person in Athens to go during the school year for a foreign exchange. I know most people go during the summer, but it's a big difference going through during the school year, obviously. So I know most of you who want to go on exchange, you'll probably take the summer option, but I really recommend going for a year because I really want to go for a year, and I'm sad that I can only go for semesters. So for those who can do it, then you should. Plus, it's more for your money since, like, at least for YFU, it's like 11,000 for the summer and then 12,000 for a semester and then like 13,000 for a year. It's something like that where it's like only a few thousands between the summer and the year. So might as well like get like what you can. It might be hard, I know, because it's a year and you don't want to miss out anything from high school and blah blah blah, but only going for the summer you miss out so much of like Japanese high school. Like you miss out sports day and cultural festival and like Valentine's Day and Christmas and New Year's and really big holidays like that. So yeah, just think about it and talk to your parents about it. And if you want to go during the year, you're gonna have to talk to your counselor about it. Since I was the first person to go for an exchange, they might have been more lenient with me. I'm not sure, but I went to Mrs. Breen, who's now retired, and she said that as long as I was taking math and English in Japan, and then it doesn't matter because I got all my science credits out of the way, and I'm going to take health when I come back and stuff like that. Try to test out of stuff like health before you go so that you don't have to take it during your exchange like in Japan. And she said my grades don't count here, obviously, because if they did, I would drop down really low because I am not even doing a lot of the homework here yet because I can't understand any of it. Moving on, if you're going for when you should go on exchange, I don't think freshmen are allowed to go on exchange because it would take place during the March. It would start in the March of eighth grade, so that's not going to work. But I would recommend going either sophomore or senior year because junior year is just way too stressful taking tests, and I think taking tests in a foreign country might be harder. So yeah, sophomore year I think is the best because you have at least 1 year of Japanese, or like part of a year of Japanese under your belt, and you won't have the stress of college essays. But since for you freshmen right now, if you want to go during your sophomore year, I think you have to apply really soon because sophomore year in Japan starts in the March of your freshman year, and that is not that far away from now. So for you freshmen, you should go and do a lot of research before you decide, and it might be a long process to get your parents to agree. So you might as well try to apply and try to look into it and talk to your counselor now. If it's too late to do sophomore year, I would recommend going senior year because if you don't care about graduation because it's just people walking across a thing, I was there and played in the orchestra for it. It's to me it's whatever. Go to another country instead of going to graduation or prom. If you're not a big fan of dances, why not go to another country? People might be like, oh, you're gonna miss out so much in your senior year. If you don't care about your senior year that much, then go to another country. Yay. But also warning, if you turn 18 during your senior year, you might not be able to go because it's a new policy, and that's what made me not try out because I saw that policy. I tried again, and they said, and it was too late for a year, so I went for a semester, and they said you might not get in because you're turning 18 while you're in Japan. So hopefully you young seniors can try to apply, or juniors now, because yeah, as a junior you can apply for your senior year. If you go as a sophomore, you'll be with people around your age as a first year in high school, and you don't get as many hard electives. I don't think you don't get as much science classes, at least in my school, and you get to do stuff like cooking, and I wanted to do cooking so bad, but oh well, I get chemistry and biology, yay. But as a second year, you get to go on the school trip, and I was really excited when I heard that. My school is going to Hiroshima and Kyoto, and my friend's school is going to Okinawa, and I thought that was a little intense because Okinawa is like an island and you would have to fly there through a plane, but other schools who are like richer can go to like Europe or Hawaii. So it depends if you have the money or if your school is really rich where you go on your school trip. The reason why even if you're a senior you're not going to be a third year in Japan is because third year in Japan is all tests. Even during Silver Week, Chisano, my exchange student, those some of you might know from last year, I asked her what she did during Silver Week, which was 3 days off last week, and she said all she did was take exams and tests because as a third year you're getting ready for college and you're doing exams. So as an exchange student, that's not really fun. I know some exchange students I talked to felt bad that they were in a year younger than them, and it's perfectly fine because you're in another country and in another language. Don't feel like, oh, they thought I was dumb and they think I'm stupid and whatever. No, it's because you can't really understand the lessons, so don't feel bad. Also, if you go for a year, you will change from a first year to a second year in your year, I'm pretty sure. Sorry there's a lot, but I'm trying to make this short. It's probably gonna be like at least 10 minutes, but yeah. More advice, please learn the language before coming to whatever country, whether it's Japan, Korea, China, France, Spain, whatever. Learn at least like the writing. For Japan, there's 3 writing systems, so you got more to learn. At least learn hiragana because it'll make class easier. Katakana is not as important as I think kanji because there's so much kanji in my lessons. I can't understand anything. Even math I can't understand because it's all kanji. Yeah, I thought I was be able to do some math. No, all the questions are in Japanese. So learn at least something before coming, and learn at least some basic grammar structures and like hello, how are you, because if you learn basic grammar structures then it'll be easier to build on upon that because it's like a building block, and then it'll be easier to learn other grammar and sentences. Don't be that exchange student who goes to a country and like, oh, I'm gonna learn it because I'm gonna hear all the time. And yes, you'll probably learn Japanese even when not starting knowing anything, and I know some people do, but it's just being considerate to the people around you and your host family. Like, what if like you host an exchange student, they didn't know like any English, and like I mean I guess it's understandable. It's just like it's easier for your family and it's easier to make friends, and you'll be less frustrated and less angry at yourself for not doing anything before. Even with 3 years under my belt, it's still pretty hard communicating with people in school because, you know, teenagers are so fast and they use their slang and whatever. I sound like grandma, but yeah, just learn anything you can before you go. Study the summer before you come. Study a lot. Don't forget anything. Kanji is so hard, but just try to learn it. Also, so let's move on to Japanese high school and American high school. And yes, they're different. They're very different. And yes, Japanese high schools are not like the anime where you don't do any homework and you're just in the back and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do anything. I mean, as an exchange student, it's kind of true since I can't really do anything right now, but you should still try your best in class. Japanese, for those who aren't studying in Japanese class or haven't come to Japanese clubs and don't know about the school system, Japanese schools are lecture based. So what that means, it's like in college where the teacher talks and you listen and you take notes, and there's no like activities where you all hold hands and sing. you all get in a circle and talk about like the color of the curtain in that one book. It's just, you just listen and you don't contribute anything really. There's no really interaction with your peers. Sometimes there is in some classes, but it's really rare. And yeah, and because of lecture based and because you're an exchange student, you're probably gonna fall asleep at least once during your exchange. And don't beat yourself up about it, because I don't think I know anyone who really hasn't done that, because I think it's so hard not to fall asleep because you can't understand really anything, and it's so quiet in there. So yeah, even my peers fall asleep. So try not to. I'm trying not to right now, but sometimes it's really hard. And unlike America, I think there's not really a stigma against falling asleep in class. Your teacher might get frustrated, but your peers aren't like, oh wow, she's falling asleep in class, oh my goodness, she's such a bad student. Yeah. Also, you stay in with 40 some people all the time. You don't change like in America where like you have different classmates every class and you go to a different classroom. In Japan, there's some classes where you go to different classrooms like art or chemistry or like calligraphy, but for the most part you stay in your classroom, and because of that you get to know your peers really well, and I think that's cool because you get to become more like close with them. And I go to an all-girls school, and I don't know if it's different from a co-ed school, but everyone was really friendly to me and nice, so yay. But yeah, no one was really shy towards me, maybe, or like, oh my goodness, it's exchange student, they're like, hey. So yeah. Also in Japan, oh, it's already 11 minutes, I'm sorry. In Japan, clubs are really important, and you should do a club if you come here, because unlike America, you stick with one club and you do it for like 2 hours after school. School days are longer than America. It starts at 8:20, 8:25 with homeroom, and then it ends at 4:20, and then you have soji, which is cleaning afterward for 10 minutes, so it ends at 4:30. Yes, you do cleaning, there's no janitors, you sweep stuff, and it's, yeah, bonding activity. But after that, you go to clubs. Some clubs end at 5:30 and some end at 6, and if you are far away from your school, you might get home at like 8. My friend gets home at 8:30, which is really late. I live 10 minutes away by bike, so I'm pretty lucky, but you might not be that lucky if you come here. You might have to take a bike, then a train, then walk. Yeah. Because in Japan, it's not where you live, like your high school that's closest to you to go to, you test into your high school. And that means everyone's on the same level, and since I go to a really high, top level school, everyone's on the same level of being really smart. Okay, so I'm rambling right now, but clubs are really cool here. There's a lot of like cool clubs like koto, which is a Japanese instrument, and kyudo, which is archery, and judo, and ping pong, and tea ceremony, and astronomy club, manga making club, English debate club. Oh my goodness, so many clubs, and it's really hard to choose one. But as an exchange student, I think you get a privilege of jumping from one club to another every day, which me and my friend are doing. So yeah, try out everything, even once. Yeah. Anyway, there's yeah, Japanese. It's pretty different, but it's still fun, and yeah, you should come and experience Japan for yourself. It's not just anime and cosplay and all good. There's might be something that you don't like, but that's just learning about the culture. And yeah, you should come, and I miss you guys. So sorry this is so freaking long. Bye.